I don't like the Hudong, but I can't lie, it still is a really good cube. At first, this cube was very intriguing because it came out at a time where the Tornado V4 was new, and the consensus on that was that it was underwhelming. It wasn't much of a step forward from the Tornado V3. And then here comes the little Hudong, which is very much inspired by the Tornado V3. And it costs $22, which you can get 5% off if you use code Alex on the cubicle. But yeah, it costs $22. It performs really well. It feels very reminiscent to a Tornado, but with slight differences. It's slight downgrade in quality, but it doesn't sacrifice the feel, and it doesn't sacrifice the performance. And also, this thing is loaded with just tech. It's pretty awesome. This cube has, core magnets. It has edge repelling magnets for, in the core magnets. It has feet magnets, and it has normal magnets, and it has spring compression system. This thing has way too much tech. And honestly, that is one of the reasons why I don't really like this cube, but I'll get to that later. Another thing this cube has is rounded centers, which look awesome. Now, to be fair, the centers themselves aren't actually rounded. It's just the bottom of the center is the normal center shape, and then it turns into a rounded center at the top, which doesn't really affect performance that much, which is a good thing, because there's a reason why rounded centers don't exist. But Fanchon did it, and it's really awesome, and I think it's a great way to stand out from the sea of 3x3s out there right now, which all look almost exactly the same. So I applaud them for that. Great job, Fanchon. But yeah, this cube is actually very interesting because it offers so much, and especially at a time where the Tornado V4 just was underwhelming. But personally, I just don't really like this cube. It performs well. It feels really nice. It has a bunch of stuff in it. It's pretty awesome, but I just don't really like it. And it's really for the same reason why I didn't exactly like the Worm V9 when that first came out, because the ball core was stuffed with so many magnets. Less magnets than they stuffed them now, but it still had so many magnets. And I think it was mostly because of the edge repelling magnets, because there's just something about those that just make the cube feel a bit weird and sluggish, and I don't really like it. And that's the same reason why I don't really like the Hudong. This cube just has so many magnets that the turns themselves just take way too much effort, in my opinion. Because right now I'm having a phase where I really like those really lightweight turns, really light magnets, and the Hudong just doesn't fit that at the moment. There was a time where I did really like strong magnets, and that was back when I was using CFOP. And honestly, if I was still using CFOP, this cube could actually be my main. I gotta be honest. But now using Rue, I just don't really like the M slices on here. There's nothing inherently wrong with the M slices by themselves. It's just the magnets. It just takes too much effort for me, and I like being effortless. This cube is just not for me. But is it for you? Well, I think there's a pretty good chance that if you like the Tornado V3, you'll probably like this cube. And actually, talking about that, I think there's like 4 different routes you can go if you're looking to upgrade from the Tornado V3. The first one is, the Tornado V4. And this is the one that I recommend the most because it's just the safest option, right? The Tornado V4, it was underwhelming, but it still is a step up from the Tornado V3, in my opinion. And I actually do really like the Tornado V4. I think it's a pretty good cube, pretty solid cube. Nothing crazy, but again, it's a solid cube, does everything pretty well. And, that deserves something, at least. The next route you can go is the Hudong. Now, honestly, I actually recommend this route for people who have the Tornado V4 and are just underwhelmed by it. Because I think that, if you like the Tornado V3, you're probably going to like the Hudong. The Hudong is basically, it's more flexible and it's more floppy in a way, but it still performs very good because it has all the magnets to keep it at least somewhat stable. But yeah, I genuinely think that this is still a good route to go if you're looking to upgrade from the Tornado V3. I think it is cheaper, and it's loaded with more stuff, which I know a lot of people do like that. There is a market for that. The other route you can go is the XT3. Now, this one is a bit more niche of a market, but I think that if you like the Tornado V3 and just want something lighter, XT3 exists, and I think the XT3 is really good. And the fourth route is actually just to stick with the Tornado V3. I think the Tornado V3 is still a really good cube, and honestly, I don't see much of a reason to upgrade off of it yet. it's still really good. And if you absolutely have to upgrade off of it, then I would go with a Tornado V4 or the Hudong. This cube is really cool. I just have to, this cube is just, it's really cool. Honestly, I'm a big fan of the rounded centers. I think they look pretty awesome. The performance is great. The price is great. You can't go wrong with this cube. And because of that, I do highly recommend you try out this cube. It's very good. You know, there's a reason why Steven loves this cube. I gotta say, I can see why. But again, it's just not for me, at least where I am at the moment. Because right now, I'm very much into a more minimal design when it comes to cubes. And I think that this cube just is the opposite. It's more maximalist. It's like, how much can we put in this cube? While I'm thinking, well, can I just have a detect version? There's a reason why I like the special edition Worm V9 over the Worm V9 Ball Core. Alright? And honestly, a detect Hudong, that would go pretty hard, I think. I could see myself using that. That'd be pretty cool. So, you know, someone get on that, please. Anyways, that's it.